Hello everyone, it is your boy Winster and I'm back at it again with another video. Today we are doing Dragon Link Bystial test hands. I'm going to be showcasing what the deck is capable of with my Dragon Link build. If you guys want to check out that video, I'm going to put it somewhere on screen, so you go ahead and check that out. But before we get into today's action, I want to thank everyone who has been supporting the channel as of late, and all old subscribers. I want to thank you so much. It means a lot. If you guys want to show any of your support, hopefully with this video I earn your subscription, and if you haven't done so, please consider turning on the notification bell. That way you could stay up to date with all the content that does drop on this channel. If you guys want to see any of my other content, I have a Discord, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch. I'm gonna leave everything in the description box so you guys could go ahead and check that out. It would mean a lot to me if you guys go ahead and check those platforms. Let's go ahead and jump into today's test hands. I'm really excited to showcase what this deck can do. So before we jump into the test hands, guys, there have been slight changes in the actual extra deck and main deck. One of those changes, I ended up taking out Excel Stardust out, and then ended up taking out Goddess of the Underworld. Not that Goddess of the Underworld is bad, you know, linking off your opponent's monster with yours is phenomenal, but I think you have to commit too much to that. The Excel Stardust, we're not playing that because I'm also made some changes to the main deck. We'll go over those in a second, but the two cards that I added is there I had a King of Adam. This card's phenomenal because you play so many Bystials, you're going to be able to go into this guy pretty easily, and he special summons dragons from the deck, which is phenomenal, and it doesn't restrict their effects, so you'd be able to activate whatever you end up summoning, which is crazy. And then on top of that, the next change is I added the Nightmare Unicorn. There's not a lot of protection from spinning back stuff from the field back to the respective deck. On top of it, it's just great to have another Link 3 in the extra deck other than just triple burst. In the main deck, I ended up adding a little bit more disruption. I added 3 copies of Book of Moon. So I play 2 Droll, 2 Nib, and 3 Book of Moon. I think it's a lot more important to have the ability to disrupt on our opponent, so that's why I ended up adding, and I ended up taking the 2 tunings and the 2 Excel or Assault Synchrons. Not that they were bad cards, but I don't think they really change the game state too much when you draw into those cards. Like, they need other cards to work. So because of that, I would rather much have disruption than just, you know, some generic stuff to go into Excel Stardust. All right, so we're going to go ahead and power shuffle. Always remember, guys, it's important to shuffle your cards. Whatever helps you feel that you're doing a good job with shuffling, I think it's by far the most important thing. And I'm going to do my best to shuffle on screen. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just showing you some broken cards. So let's go ahead and half our deck like someone normally would at a local. And let's go ahead and do test number 1. All right, we're opening pretty strong. Thrust, White Dragon, Absolute Dragon, Rocket Recharge, and Druish Worm. This is actually not bad. We don't have the proper normal summon because we opened up Recharger, but we're going to be able to search with Ops Router and Rocket Recharge. So we also have the Thrust in our hand, so if our opponent activates anything, we're going to be able to do that. But this is a decent hand. I wish we had a different Bystial, but whatever. So for this hand, I think we're going to go ahead and normal summon the Recharge, and then we're going to go ahead and go straight into Absolute Router. At this point, we're going to go ahead and what would be the best option? I think linking this off and going into Striker might be the best option. We'll go ahead and go effect, so we could go ahead and search. We're going to search for the field spell. Okay, where the hell is the damn field spell? Okay, there we go. Boot sector launch. Okay, so now we have a target for the White Dragon, but you don't want to get rid of the Rocket Recharge because that's how you're going to go into your Synchro 8 plays. So I am thinking of what is the best option here. If I go into ROM, I'm just going to get the field spell. I guess I'll be able to get a Bystial in the grave. Yeah, so maybe that might be the best option. And I go ahead and search. So I'll go ahead and link these 2 off. And then we would go ahead and go to ROM. I think getting the Rocket is better because we're going to be able to get the search and summon and then still go into some sort of plays even if we get disrupted. So we'll go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. Yeah, it'll be cool to have a Bystial in the grave, but it isn't necessary for us to continue to extend. So I think by getting the Rokket monster into our hand is a little bit better because we already have the field spell and we'll be able to summon it. If we would have got disrupted there and, you know, not search the ravine, yeah, but I'll be able to get this monster and we'll at least still be able to end on spheres. But because that's not the case, we're not going to do that. There's a lot of options that you could take here. But I think the most obvious one is we're going to start going into White Dragon combos. We're going to go ahead and banish to summon. And then here, I'll go ahead and start going into Borland. Hopefully we don't get disrupted. So we'll go Pisty. We'll go White Dragon effect to search the Black Dragon. Like, it is an awkward hand, but it's not a bad one, if that makes any kind of sense. So we're going to search that guy. And then here we would banish. And then we would special. And then we will link these two off. And then we would go into the triple burst. And then I think here the best option is to if they haven't activated anything here, you know, you could get rid of the thrust. You may not have the thrust, you may have it. Right, let's say if they did activate Ash or something, right, you'd be able to search something here. Let's say if they Nibiru'd you, because I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. We already went over, so you wouldn't have had the thrust, or you would have still had it, but if they hadn't used it by now, I don't think they're going to. So I would probably go activate Dragon's Ravine. Yeah, send the Durosworm. And then you would send the Lubellion. You would activate Pisty, bring him onto the field, and then you would tribute him. Obviously, you're not going to activate his effect, but you'll get Lubellion for free. Activate Lubellion effect. And then here, I would go ahead and set the Regain. I think Regained by far more important than the Branded Beast. It's funny that people are even cutting Branded Beast at this point. Because it's not that it's a bad card, it's a brick. You know, if you draw it, like, it sucks. You would rather much see Regained. So yeah, I will go ahead and set this. Okay. And then what I would do is not link off with that, but I would go ahead and go get rid of that, activate the Boot Sector launch, and then I would go ahead and activate Boot Sector, special from the hand. There's no reason to lock myself, so I think I would link these. Right? Whoops. And then we would go into Borland. Borland, I would go ahead and see if I pop the field spell, like it's not gonna be good. Right? I want the field spell for follow-up just in case. So yeah, I would go ahead and activate Borland, target to negate it, and then target this thing to special it back. I don't want to lock myself, nor do I want to get rid of the field spell. Because let's say our opponent ends up, you know, just blowing up our board. We would go ahead and end on this. Activate effects. We would go ahead and, of course, get the triple burst. Equipped it. And then that would be our actual end board. So this is our end board. This thing's at 42, 3 negates. A negate could bring back a rocket monster. We got Regained and we still got thrust in hand. Yeah, we used our whole hand, but we still have follow-up because we still got the field spell, which is Boot Sector launch. So if they do end up like super pawing our board and or not, whatever they end up summoning, we're gonna go ahead on resolution activate Branded Regain, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring out one of our Bystials. So or we could disrupt. I think this is a really solid in board. It looks very simple, but I think it's really good. All right, let's go ahead and go to test hand number 2, guys. Test hand number 2. The first one was a very awkward hand. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think it was a really awkward one, but I think we may do. Again, if we actually had in our opponent, I would argue and say that maybe we would have got an Ash somewhere along the way, or maybe even Nib, right? Because Nib is really popular right now. Dragon Link is really popular, so in the mirror, if they would have Bystialed one of our cards, yeah, we'll be able to just do thrust and then stop their hand. I'll look for the Talons and then go into their hand. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of options. If not, then go to Chaos Space. You know, you could search Chaos Space off of the thrust, so it's insane. But I think it was an awkward hand, but it was not a bad one. It could have been worse. So, all right, we reshuffled. This is the second test hand. So let's go ahead and do it. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So opening hand is 3 Bystials, quick launch, and droll. So we have some form of retaliation, I guess. But we have something there. I think here I would go into... There's a couple ways we could actually do this. And I think the obvious way is getting Magnum out in the field. But we'll go quick launch during the standby. Right? Because we don't... I want to make sure we do everything and not give our opponent, ways to activate stuff. So we're going to activate the Rokket Tracer, or we're going to summon the Rokket Tracer. We're going to link off the Rokket Tracer. Okay. And then we're going to go straight into Striker Dragon effects. I'm going to go ahead and search the field spell. Boot Sector Launch. Okay. And then I think here I would actually activate the Striker Dragon effect to target this, to add it back to the hand, to pop this. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Okay, yeah. We'll just pop the Striker Dragon, and then we'll add the Rokket Tracer right back to our hand. So that's 2 summons. We'll go ahead and activate the Magnamute, target this, and then we'll go ahead and special activate Magnamute effects. So I'm going to activate Boot Sector Launch, and then I'm going to activate Boot Sector Launch effect to special. Okay, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do here, I'm going to link this off and go straight into Pisty. Okay, I know I'm going to put Pisty right here. I know Pisty doesn't do much right now, but again, Boot Sector Launch is active right there. It's just my big ass dome is going to be blocking it, guys. But the thing is, we need the monster in the grave. And I know we did a lot just to make sure the Tracer, gets back to our hand so we could summon it. But we're going to go ahead and activate the Serenir, target this, banish it, and then summon. And then we're going to go ahead and overlay. And we are going to go into the Heretic Dragon King. And then we're going to go ahead and activate the effect. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card cost. So we're going to go ahead and send the Serenir. And then if it resolves, special summon 1 dragon monster from your deck and make its attack defense 0. Cannot attack the turn that this effect activates. So here we could summon literally any dragon from our deck. I think we're going to go ahead and summon the Safer. Yes, his effects are, or its attack is 0, but that's not what we need it for. We're going to go ahead and then activate the Serenir. Right? Serenir effect is going to kick in, and then we're going to go ahead and send that Lubellion straight to the grave. And then we are going to go ahead and activate Safer. And then we're going to search. And we are going to search, I think Black Dragon is fine, honestly. No, because let's go ahead and search White Dragon, actually. White Dragon, because we could just banish the Serenir. Okay, it's just insane that the Heretic Dragon doesn't actually negate their effect. Like it's so broken. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and activate Safer. We're gonna go ahead and search or add back the Lubellion, and we're gonna activate Lubellion, and then we're gonna search whatever Bystial we need. So we want one for interruption. So for next turn. Okay. And then we are going to go ahead and banish. And then we're going to go ahead and summon. And I think it's important that we do these two, obviously. And again, this is all fine. I know Pisty locks us into the dragons as long as it's on the field, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and do Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. We're going to search the field spell. And then we are going to search Black Dragon. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to go ahead and banish the White Dragon. And then we're going to special that. And I think here, so we already have a lot of, okay. So we could go end on spheres, and spheres wouldn't be bad, right? Because our hand is looking like this. You got a lot of disruption, and we're going to still search a Bystial at the end of it. But is that going to be enough? You know, you got to ask yourself these questions. The right option is activate Bystial, and then target the Pisty. Banish that. Special it. Yeah. We could still add it off of Magnamood in the Great and at the end phase. And then we would go ahead and link off. Okay. Well, first, let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. Summon this. Activate effect. We're going to activate the regained, or set it face up on the field, does not activate. And then I have it normal summoned. Okay. So that's something to look into. I have it normal summoned. So I summoned off of that. Yeah. Then I linked it up. Yep. I haven't even normal summoned. So I think at this point, I think it might be best to activate the Dragon's Ravine. Activate the Dragon's Ravine. Activate the effects. We're going to send the Magnamoot. And then we're going to go ahead and send the Router. Router effect, we're going to go ahead and search the other Rokket Tracer. Okay. Okay. And then at this point, I would go ahead and normal summon using this guy and ROM and going into spheres. And then we would go ahead and synchro, go into Savage, Savage effect, get the ROM. ROM will set, and then this becomes 36, and then we would go ahead and probably go to end phase here. Yeah, adding the Baldrake might be the best option here. Because the moment that they summon, we're going to go ahead and activate the regained. We could have summoned another Rokket card and then use that with the Lubellion, but there's not really much there. And I'd rather have the Dragon's Ravine. There's no other real cards that we could go into. Because again, this is our first turn. So this is our end board, right? Negate, we have an interruption. We have a potential interruption the moment that they summon a card. And then we got Droll, and then we got the Baldrake. That last hand, man. Triple Bystials, right? And double copy of one. Definitely like an inoptimal hand, but the fact that we still ended up on Savage Spheres was still pretty good. And like I said, we could have ended up with one more body, but like I don't play the IP, and nor do you think IP is like that great, you know? But in that situation, it would have really been fine to go into IP. But again, you know, you have to have the extra deck space, and I think the other cards are a little bit more valuable than IP. But the fact that we're able to convert that awkward hand into something, it goes to show us that we're able to, you know, really understand this deck. All right, let's do one more test hand. Let's go ahead and cut our deck. Of course, we need to. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just giving myself these phenomenal hands. Okay, God hand. Oh my God. No way. No, that is an absolute God hand. Disruption, normal, Lubellion, quick launch, safer. Bruh. What is his hand? His hand's insane. Okay. So we'll go ahead and activate the Lubellion first. And then we're going to go ahead and search the Serenir, actually. Search Serenir. And then on res, we're going to... Oh, it's not a quick effect, but we'll go ahead and activate Serenir. Okay. Then I would probably chain the quick launch, so they could be summoned here at the same time. I think that's really important. So if it resolves, do that. Chain link 2 resolves. Summon in this. Chain summons. And then this gets banished. Okay. And then here I would literally just synchro. Synchro for 10. That way we have protection, and then we get the Barone. Serenir effect to send the other Lubellion from the deck to the Grieve. So again, we're still using Lubellion. Like, Serenir is just so broken, and I don't think you have to play multiple copies, but I think it's really important to play like at least 2, you know. I'll play 1, and I'm even considering playing the second one. Oh, okay. So I think here is standard Dragon Link combo. Normal summon, activate the effect, and then we would go ahead and go into, we would search, I think White Dragon is fine, because you have the Serenir. Like, we don't really care that the Serenir gets banished or not, so getting that would be fine. We would activate, not even activate, we'll just summon, because again, this effect doesn't activate a chain. We would do that, and then we would link this bad boy off. And now we have committed to the normal. We'll go 1, 2. I think searching the body is by far more important. And then we need to get this. The field spell. Okay. And we already committed to the normal. We have the protection. On the 3rd summon, we had protection. So we would go ahead and banish to special, link 2, we would go into ROM, ROM effect to search the field spell. Field spell gets added. Activate Ravine. So I already committed the normal. So that's okay. So the next step, what do we activate, right? So we have the Nibiru for disruption on their turn, right? And that's the situation where we don't know the matchup. So this may or may not. So we have to understand the value of our cards, right? I could go straight into Savage, or just end on Spheres, right? With 1 negate, and I still have some sort of follow-up. So I could activate Boot Sector, special summon the Rokket, pop the Rokket. Yeah, it may lock us. Yeah, I'll activate the Boot Sector launch. Activate the effect to special from the hand. And then I would go ahead and activate on res to pop to special from the deck. So, okay. And then here I would go ahead and probably put this like way over here. That way you have space. So here I would go ahead and link into Pisty, and then link into Boral, or no, I would go ahead and link into that. Pisty effect, I would go ahead and bring Rokket out. And then here, I would probably just go into this, into the Boral end. And this is our hand at the end of the turn. We have Rebellion in the grave. We have, you could search it still or add it back from the grave to the to our hand with Safer next turn. If we really wanted to, there's a lot of options here. We have the Nibiru, we have the Borland that kind of responded. We have the Negate. This potentially could have been used, but I think this was a really good hand. The fact that we were able to combo into Barone on our third summon for the protection and still on the end on the Borland is pretty good. I did not want to overcommit and send the Nib off of the Ravine because, again, yeah, we'll be able to end with this and the Savage. But I'm trying to play around Super Poly. I think that's like our biggest like pain, and on top of that, you know, just Nibiru is also a pain against this deck. So and those cards are running around like crazy right now. But I think this is still a pretty good end board. We have Disruption. We still got the one card for the discard, whatever we end up top decking. And let's say if we need that card to top deck, we could always just add it, have an extra discard off of the Lubellion with Safer. So we're going to have some sort of follow-up regardless. And this board, we can't get Super Poly because you just can't. There's no target. Okay, guys, so that is going to be it for today's video. The reason I love Dragon Link is because you just have so many options with the deck. You could play it thousands of ways, realistically. There's just so many options. And I think that's what makes the deck really, really attractive because you do have so many options. You have some of the best extra deck monsters in the game. You could play Barone, Boral, and you could play Axis Code. You could play Chaos Angel, Despater. You could play Savage Sphere. Some of the best extra deck monsters in the game right now can be run in this deck. And that's why it makes it so popular. Again, there are numerous ways to play it. So, again, everyone's build is going to be really different. I wanted to add a little bit more disruption, so that's why I switched some cards out. But I wanted to get your guys' feedback. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. Let me know what you guys think of the combos. Did I do the right plays? Let me know in the comment section, guys. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy it. Hopefully, I earned your subscription with this video. Until next time, I will check you guys out later. My name is Winster. You guys have a good rest of your night.